Good morning, everybody. It's PC Outcast, and we are here, the final episode of the Forgotten Electromancer. A little bit shorter episode, or a little bit shorter series than the Cryomancer and the Druid, but nevertheless, here we are. We have already completely devastated most of our enemies. We were able to defeat the Zakrisos, who was resistant to our magic by 50%. I mean, he himself is a storm mage. Destroyed him in a matter of seconds. We cleared out some of the most difficult dungeons full of Draugr and dragon priests that is available in the game without too much trouble. We cleared out everything where we needed to get the 3 words for Storm Call, and haven't run into too much trouble, except a few times we've got into fighting a Draugr which was completely resistant to lightning magic. I didn't actually realize, because I usually would use like either healing magic or fire magic or something like that against undead. I didn't realize that if a Draugr wields lightning magic, they are immune to lightning, which seems kind of ridiculous, but okay. I mean, sure, maybe they were such expert lightning mages during life that they now that they're undead, they're completely immune to it, but it is a bit of a pain. Anyway, Karstag is our final nemesis, the standing nemesis for this entire series. He's been so far a pretty good test, like measure, to see how each of these builds stacks up. So the Cryomancer didn't do very well. He knocked him down by about a quarter health, and that was it. The Druid, I think, got him down by about 50%, which was pretty good. Both of them were, he's technically immune to both frost and poison, so it didn't really help that those guys were frost and poison based. But the Amplify Lethality perk in Ordinator did at least give the Druid a chance to stack some poisons on him, and he got him down pretty good. But now it's time to try out the Electromancer. We've got his ruins right behind us there. He is not 100% resistant to electricity, so I think he's 75% resistant, which is still a lot, but we do have some things to negate that a little bit. And yeah, let's take a look at the first of all, let's take a look at all the perks that I chose for the Electromancer spells. So for Storm Strike, I got High Voltage, which increases damage based on your mana. Electrify, which decreases the target's shock resistance by 30% for its duration. Static Drain, Storm Strike burns up to 10 magicka per tick, causing the same amount of damage. Pulsation, chance to stagger the target on each tick. And Storm Shard, it awards us a Storm Shard if they die while under the effect of Storm Strike. Okay. For Storm Armor, we've got Lightning Field. Restores mana every 3 seconds while active. That actually has ended up where I almost never, even though I have no mana regen, I almost never need to pray to Magnus to get my magicka back. It's really pretty awesome. Ride the Wind, increase your movement speed 50% while out of combat, and unfortunately that doesn't help during combat, but what can you do? Microburst radiates a wave of electricity whenever you're hit, causing shock damage to all enemies in a 10-foot radius. Avatar of the Storm increases electric damage by 25% and increases Storm Strike duration by 4 seconds. And Sudden Strike strikes nearest enemies with chain lightning while active. That is really nice, and the range is actually really, really good. For Lightning Strike, we've got Ionization. Chance to strike the same target twice with Lightning Strike. Magnified Charge, extra damage to distant targets. Squall, if the target is affected by Storm Strike, which they are, deals an additional 30 to 40 damage. Execute, instantly kills an enemy with less than 25% health and requires a Storm Shard, but we're constantly picking up Storm Shards from Storm Strike. And finally, Chain Lightning strikes the target with Chain Lightning. That is... Lightning Strike is, I think, quite possibly the most devastating spell I have played so far in the Forgotten Magic thing. Just with these perks, it's pretty intense. Skyfall, we got Thunderstorm, increases explosion radius by 10 feet. Lightning Burst increases damage of Skyfall by 100% if landing from maximum height. Thunder Fury staggers nearest enemies upon landing. Polarization applies Storm Strike to all affected targets. And Stormbringer, whenever you get hit while channeling Skyfall, which happens frequently, strikes the attacker with lightning. Electric Charge, we've got Amplify. Stun... good. Yes. Increases damage by 100% if you hold the discharge key for 3 seconds, and it requires a Storm Shard. Superconductor decreases the target's shock resistance by 33% for 10 seconds on discharge. High Voltage stuns the target for 3 seconds on discharge. Electrification applies Storm Strike on discharge, so they're just getting Storm Strike like all the time. And Oscillation increases the discharge damage by 5% per each Storm Shard that you have in your inventory, which we have a stack of. We'll go and take a look at that in a second. And finally, Stormgate. We've got Storm Shield, grants you immunity to magic for 4 seconds after translocation. Negation, same thing for physical damage. Shocking Pulse, briefly stuns anyone in the area you translocate from. Tempest Spawn, spawns a magical beast at your current position. The spawn will fight for you for 10 seconds, taunting all nearby enemies. And Straying Gateway, which I can't seem to get to work. Pressing the hotkey within 5 seconds after translocation moves the Storm Gate to your initial position. Yeah. I didn't actually get that to work, unfortunately. So, anyway. And we ended up only getting 5 affinity points. We should have got a 6th one. But for some reason, Storm Strike didn't give us an affinity point. But we did get the other 5, so we've got them all in Storm, which should be making our electrical damage quite a bit more potent. And for regular perks, Conjuration basically just grabbed everything on the left side to improve my Atronachs. Summoning them further away, they last longer. Destruction spells are more powerful when you're within 30 feet of a Daedra. We get Elemental Potency, which this is actually the first time that we were using a regular Atronach, so our Storm Atronach did become a potent Storm Atronach, which is quite nice. Conjure Daedra within 75 feet, gain additional spells. So the Storm and Wind Atronachs get Magnetic Knockdown. Nice. Extra magic resistance and armor for our Atronach, and we can actually summon more than, well, up to 3, I guess, or up to 4. Yeah, so there you go. Destruction grabbed Mastery, Dual Casting, Force of Nature, which will work when will increase decrease the cost of our lightning spells when it's raining. And of course we can cause it to rain with Storm Call when we're outside. Unfortunately, Storm Call doesn't work inside. It's really too bad. And Specialization, naturally we went for Shock Magic. And then we went up and basically grabbed most of the stuff in the shock part of the tree. Ionized Path, Static Field, Arc Burn. I didn't get Magnetized because I just find it a bit annoying to have them raised in the air for only 2 seconds. And I didn't bother with Nova Charge either because I wasn't dual casting regular shock spells. I'm pretty much only using the Forgotten Magic spells, and I don't think that counts. I didn't test it, but it probably doesn't work. The slow time effect also was kind of annoying on the occasional time I used a wind spell, so I didn't bother taking that. I did test it, but didn't test whether the damage works on shock spells, but the slow time effect on the wind was annoying anyway, so. And electric convulsions incapacitate living targets that are not or below 1/3 and health and not resistant to shock. And also you can have a chance of disarming targets below 1/3 with wind spells. That's kind of cool. Show them all. Shock spells and effects drain 50% more magic. And Storm Blast. You accumulate static energy from the ambient air every 6 to 12 seconds in combat. Your next shock spell triggers a ground discharge that radiates outward from the target. All enemies in the area take 60 points of damage. Restoration went pretty light, just Mastery, Dual Casting, Edgewalker, and Respite, which unfortunately does not work with Healing Light. I was sad to see. So you can't have that extra, like 2 points of magic or stamina regen per second. It didn't seem to make any difference. I mean, maybe it's just so low that I couldn't really tell, but it didn't seem to be doing anything. Alteration just grabbed everything up the middle of the tree. Mastery, resistance. I think I went with fire and frost, or fire and lightning. For attributes, I took more magicka and grabbed nullifier. Just, you know, it's nice being able to nullify magic and stamina regeneration of enemies that are near you. Heavy armor went pretty heavily into this too. Mastery 2 out of 2, got cushion 2 out of 2 so we can drop from any height. I just kind of find that cool. Battle Weary to reduce incoming attack damage. Born to Fight, your armor weighs half as much and slows you down half as much. Our Heavy Armor Fit just increases the armor rating. Defiance gives you armor for every time you're hit. And Never Kneel, reduced damage from power attacks. Also grabbed out of the Inferno to give us a little bit of fire, frost. Actually, we get fire, earth, frost, water, shock, and wind damage reduction by, it's 0.02 per point of armor. I'm not sure how much armor I actually have. And Immortal, if you're wearing all heavy armor, you take 75% less damage from attacks when you're below 15% health. So there you go. That is all of that. Let's take a look at the gear quickly. I did have Geric Galderson's staff. Didn't end up using it much because I ended up not going for Vancian magic. I think I probably would have used this more if I had. I ended up not actually enchanting anything. I do have the Sarthal amulet, which reduces spell cost by a little bit, and I've got the Stormcaller ring, which gives us health and magicka of 25 points and increases the duration of Storm Strike by 50%. And yeah, I didn't bother. I swapped out the Galder amulet, which just gives you the 30 extra health, magic, and stamina for the, believe it or not, Sarthal amulet was actually better. And Zakrisos increases shock resistance by 50% and shock spell damage by 25%. And that's it. So with that, let's save. And actually, yes. We will go in there and see what we can do. I hope we're going to be able to defeat him. Let's unlock. And we know we're going to get hit by Reeklings. As soon as they walk in, that this thing's going to charge up. Ah. Oh man, he did a lot of damage. Surprising amount of damage, actually. Die. Die, you guys. Whew. Oh, you're still alive. Congratulations. Oh, you're not alive anymore. Storm Blast's ready. You guys managed to kill my Atronak. I'm not impressed. This guy's still hopping around though. Okay, let's go ahead. Well, let's get Storm Call ready to go. And let's conjure Storm Atronak. And Storm Atronak. And Storm Atronak. And Storm Atronak. Okay, we will actually pray before we do this. Okay. Yes, good. Let's also get, actually, you know, I don't know about the... Sometimes the Tempest Beast, like, aggroes these guys. But I think I'm not actually going to use Stormgate. Stormgate was, like, definitely one of the least useful spells in this pack that I've come across so far. Unfortunately. Get this going. Summon him up. Back off. Hit him with that. Okay, doing some damage. I can't even see. I cannot even see him. Where? Oh. Okay, let's do Skyfall. Get rid of some of these things. Ooh, I'm taking a lot of damage. Where is he? Oh, they're running away. What do you mean immune? Oh, that combination. Did you see that? He was not taking that much damage off of Lightning Strike, but when I applied Electric Charge and then next Lightning Strike killed him. Uh-huh. We did it, guys! We finally created a build that defeated Karstag. And he wasn't even that, it was more his summons that was a problem. Of course, I had so many summons of my own, he couldn't really focus on me at all. Oh my god, we didn't even need to, do any, enchanting on our gear. We could have increased the potency of our spells. We could have various resistances. We could have increased our magic, which would increase, I think, the damage of Storm Strike, I believe. It's based on how much base magic you have. Anyway, there you go. We finally did it. Next up, we see what happens with Mystic. The Mystic is more of a illusion-based spell sword sort of thing. It's kind of an interesting build, and we'll see how they do starting tomorrow, I guess. I might have to take a break. I'm not sure if I'm going to be completely ready to launch that right after this, but there you go, guys. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the Forgotten Electromancer. We will see you next time.